Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and just so much going on around the channel as always. So coming up on the 1st of June, a new Sudoku hunt from Itch.io. It's been thoroughly tested, but not by me yet, so I'm really looking forward to that actually. That is going to be on our Patreon site. Do join us on Patreon, where we have crosswords and connections videos, all sorts going on there all the time. And as I say, on the 1st of the month, it'll be the connections hunt. Now, no. It's a yin-yang hunt by Itch.io, in fact, all the wise. So we'll be bringing that to you then. Last month's hunt was won by Sophie Copplestone, who it turns out lives in New Zealand. So that's going to be an interesting timing problem for Simon and her to get together and record a solve together, which is her prize. So that's fantastic. I mean, that is the prize, is you could appear in a video with Simon. So do think about the Itch.io hunt. Yeah, we're really looking forward. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Simon and Sophie. So that's for the future. It'll appear on the channel. We've had a couple of those prize winner videos before, and they're always very entertaining, as was, of course, the solve we did with Matt Parker, another collaboration video. I mean, loads going on. Oh, goodness, we'll probably be back to the blueprints at some point in a week or so. That's streaming, which we do at 10 p.m. our time sometimes. There's Wordle in a Minute videos every day, of course. I hope you see them sometimes, or if you're interested in the words. Masterclass videos every Friday. I mean, there's so much that we try and do. One video a day by each of us on a Sudoku or other puzzle, and then there's all of our apps which do feature line Sudoku and domino Sudoku, and of course the latest Fog of War. We've got a bit of merchandise, and we've got SVEN'S SUDOKU PAD on links under the video. But the first link is to a puzzle by the reliable James Kopp, who's provided below 0 this time. And there are some modifier digits in this puzzle. I always enjoy those. I always enjoy James's puzzle. I mean, literally without fail. So normally kind of what I would call a medium difficulty, but obviously tastes may vary. And anyway, I'm going to go through the rules of this. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 will go in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. One of the digits from 1 to 9 has been rendered negative, and it will always be its negative value that applies in this puzzle. One of the digits is negative, okay. The 3x3 box borders, the black borders, divide blue lines into segments with digits that sum to the same value. So that will be equivalent, the value of those two, remember they could include the negative digit, will be equivalent to the value of those two, same applies, the value of those 3, the value of those 5, the value of those 3, and the value of that 1. Different lines can obviously have different segment values. German whispers, adjacent digits on a green line have values that differ by at least 5. And cells separated by V have values that sum to 5. Values, remember, could have a negative on it. Not all possible V's are necessarily given. Okay, I mean, it's an intriguing rule set, a single negative digit throughout the puzzle. I mean, it could be 2, it could be 7, who knows which digit it will be. I don't, but I'm going to say let's get cracking and try this. Well, okay, I can see that there is a problem with this triangle, because German whispers do not come in triangles. So one of these 3 digits is necessarily the funky digit, the negative item. I think that's telling me that it's a high digit that's being made negative. And this is interesting as well. So here we've got 1 cell on a blue line and 5 cells on a blue line. Right, well, it's not this 1 cell that's being made negative. Oh, I have to actually, hang on, I have to bear in mind the possibility. I don't know that that's right now I've said that. It is right, but it wasn't right for the instant reason I thought. These 5 cells could also contain a negative digit, even though there's only one, clearly because one of the digits is negative. There's a negative in every row, column and box, because that negative follows this digit around the grid. But there could easily be negatives on both of these segments of the line. However, if there was a negative here, the biggest negative you could get is a 9. And then, so if I'm minimizing the number, plus 1, 2, 3, 4 would still give me plus a plus number, plus 1. And therefore, this is not negative. The absolute minimum number those 5 could give is positive. So that is not negative. Okay, I'm going to try and use green for the cells that are okay, that are natural. If I could limit the negative here to the V, obviously. The V is on a German whisper connection itself. Right, there is something funky going on there. I mean, the absolute rule of a German whisper connection is that adjacent digits have values that differ by at least 5. Oh, hang on, this is utterly impossible. No, it's not. It's not. There is a negative digit in these two. I thought both of these things, this crazy triangle and this 1 versus 5, I thought they were both leading me, quite unsurprisingly, to the same conclusion that the negative digit is high. I'm beginning to think I've got that quite the wrong way around and the negative digit is low, but let me think about these two. These two include the negative digit and sum to 5. They must include the negative digit because something has to be going on, because no 2 positive digits can have a difference of 5 and sum to 5. 1 and 6 is obviously the minimum. They don't sum to 5. So there is a negative digit in one of those cells. I can green all of these because these are in the same box as a negative digit. These are in the same column. They can't be negative. So this is a genuine V. What is going on? I don't really understand what's going on here. There's a negative. Oh, see, once you get a negative digit, you can have low and high in the other two. But I mean, oh no, this can't also be the negative digit. I've finally worked out. Even though by Sudoku logic, you could put a negative digit there if you had 1 here. That wouldn't break any same row, box and column rules. They would be the same value because it's always the same number that's being negatized. So, negated is probably the better verb. That must be normal. Now, I still haven't worked out what's going on. Okay, so there are only some combinations here. We need a positive value of 5. Just checking the rules. Yes. So the negative is actually low. The negative is 1, 2, 3, or 4, and it's going with 6, 7, 8, or 9. Oh, but these are very different things. In terms of, that's really weird. I don't understand that. I assumed that difference being maintained between 6 and -1. So, no, the difference is not being maintained. But okay, let me try and explain what my brain's having a hard time coming up with. I'll just use some aide-memoire numbers here. These are not numbers in the puzzle, they're just numbers. These are the differences. This V is now representing a difference between a positive number and a possible negative number. 6 plus -1 equals 5. 7 plus -2 does. 8 plus -3, 9 plus -4. Now, my brain was assuming that since that difference is consistent, there is a maintained difference between these values, but that is not true. There is an expanding difference between these values. The difference between 6 and -1 is 7. The difference between 7 and -2 is 9. The difference between 8 and -3 is 11. That's so strange. The difference between 9 and -4 is 13. Now, I think this digit is going to have to fall into this gap. It's going to be positive. We've marked it as such. And it mustn't be a high digit. Now, I haven't mentioned the normal things on German Whispers. When you have two positive digits on German Whispers, one is high from 6, 7, 8, 9, and one is low from 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 can't appear on a normal German Whisper line because there aren't any Sudoku neighbours. It could appear on one of these if it was next to a negative. Not on a normal German Whisper line, and this must connect with one normal cell in one of those two. On a normal German Whisper line, you have a high next to a low, and 4 and 6 can only have one positive neighbour. Oh, this was a really interesting exercise to do. I'm glad I did that. Now, I don't think this can be 6 and -1, because my new thesis is that the other digit on this triangle has to fall in between those two numbers. Because the higher, the positive number over here is either 6, 7, 8 or 9. We've just demonstrated that. Therefore, this is a low positive number of 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is clearly lower than the high digit here, but it's also higher than the negative digit. Now, 6 and -1 only had 7 difference between them. Well, you can't achieve a 5 difference from 1 to the middle and a 5 difference from the middle to the above if there's only 7. You can't do it with 9 either. So this V is not 6 and -1 or 7 and -2. It's either 8 and -3, in which case this digit would be a definite 3 or 2. So definite's not quite the word. Or this is 9 and -4. And now there's quite a bit more scope. I think this could be any low digit, 1, 2, 3, or 4, positive. That's really odd. Right, this is obviously two normal V digits, either 1 and 4 or 2 and 3. I'm sorry, maybe I'm being very slow, but I'm having a hard time getting my head around this. Now, let's go over here. Now we know that the negative digit is either 3 or 4. It's most likely 4 because 9 gets quite a lot of license to leave any digit here, but it could be -3. So, because this is natural now, there is a funky digit here because you can't get one Sudoku digit positive to equal 5 different ones positive. So here there is a funky digit somewhere, and those are all genuine. Now, we now know that the funky digit is a 3 or a 4. So here we're adding -3 or 4 to the positives. And we're going to have to still minimize those. So let's say it was -3. The positives at their minimum could be 1, 2, 4, 5. That adds to 12, plus the -3. That is 9. If -3 is a negative digit, this digit here is a 9. And that's okay, because the digit up here would be an 8. Now, if -4, I think we get more flexibility. If -4 is the negative digit, the positive digits in this string of 5 could be 1, 2, 3, 5. Adding to 11 plus -4 is 7. So this is always at least 7 over here. 7, 8, or 9. I think 1 and 2 have to appear in this set as positives. Oh, that's worth thinking about. Even with -4, could it be 1, 2, 5, 6, or is 3 always in this grouping? -4 plus 1, 2, 5, 6 is 10. 11 13, 14 minus 4, that gives a positive 10, and that makes that impossible. So I think 1, 2, 3, and 4 always have to appear here. Because if the negative is 3, these are 1, 2, 4, 5. The positives are 1, 2, 4, 5. If the negative is 4, the positives include 1, 2, 3, and are either 5, 6, or 7, is what my head is telling me. I hope that's right. Now we've got this V looking at that low digit, but this V might have a negative on it. What about the other things here? Because we're going to get a total of 7, 8, or 9. Oh, but again, there could be negatives on all of these segments, all or any of these segments. Got green and blue in that 3 trio. This central box has got 3 segments of the same ilk, of the same n, the same total. But there's a negative, well, there's clearly a negative digit on one of them. So there is a secret that we know about every row, column, and box in Sudoku. And we share it with our closest friends, but today that's you. And the secret is that every row, column, and box of a normal Sudoku that doesn't have negative digits adds up to 45. Oh, that is the point. That is the point. This box does not add up to 45 in terms of the values. Oh, of course. All right. Maybe we can work out whether the number is 3 or 4 just by virtue of divisibility by 3 in this box. Right. If the negative digit was 3, from then the sum of the values in this box, you're going to have to deduct 3 twice from 45 to get the sum of the values in this box. Once because 3 in the box does not have a positive value, and you have to deduct it. And once because it does have a negative value, so you have to deduct it again. So if 3 was the negative digit throughout the puzzle, the total value of this box would be 45 minus 3 minus 3. Well, that is going to be, it's 39. That is divisible by 3. And I knew it was going to be divisible by 3 because 45 is divisible by 3 and 3 is divisible by 3 every time. And if, okay, well now, it's not going to work with 4 because the value of this box in terms of this puzzle would, if 4 was the negative digit, would be 45 minus 4 is 37. And then we could not divide this box up into 3 equal segments because 37 divided by 3 is 12 1/3. And where are we going to get a third from in this puzzle? So 3 is the negative digit, and I think we know this is 9. Let's do this in order. This is now an 8, 3, 8 and minus 3 pair. This is now 2 or 3 to achieve the differences necessary on the line. This doesn't have a 3 in it because 3 is negative and it already appears up here. This doesn't have an 8 in it. Here we have a negative 3 plus 1, 2, 4, 5. The absolute minimum digits equals 1, 2, 4, 5 equals 12 minus the negative 3 equals 9. And this is a 9. There we go. 3 is not the magic number today, the negative number. So these segments add up to 9. These 3 cell segments, if they're positive, if they're all positive cells, they don't have a 3 in because that's a negative. So they would have to be 1, 2, 6. There are 3 trios that add up to 9. One is 1, 2, 6, but the others have 3 in. They're 1, 3, 5 and 2, 3, 4. However, there could be a negative digit in one of these strings. It's actually not impossible for there to be a negative digit in both of them. That negative digit would be a 3 and the other 2 cells would add up to 12. which couldn't use a 3 and would be 5, 7 or 4, 8. If there's a negative digit in one of those, then the negative digit in this box is forced into one of those. And in that case, this is the only one that could be a negative digit here. That's not wonderful. Oh, we now know the sum on this line, don't we? Or we know that the sum of this box is 39. The n on this line is 13. So all of these, right, these 2 cell segments of a line adding up to 13 cannot have a negative in, because that negative would be -3. The other digit would have to be 16. That ain't going to happen. Is the whisper any use? If this adds up to 13, they could all be positive, like 194. You could have the negative digit in with a -3 and 97. And you could arrange either of those combinations on a whisper. So 194 itself wouldn't work because of that cell, but I mean that was only 293 would. So that doesn't look all that helpful. These little lines, they're not doing anything for me. This could still be, I think this could still be the negative digit. I can't even colour that green. These 4 add up to 13, but that could be done with positives. If that was a, it just, okay, if that was a 1, it couldn't be. If it was 4 positive digits, it has to have a 1 in, but I mean, that's not interesting. This V can't be a positive 2, 3 because 3's in... Oh, this can't be a 3, can it? Oh, you numpty, because 3's a negative digit. That is a 2. I've got a second digit in the puzzle now. 18 minutes. This is harder than the normal James Cott puzzle for me. But we are making progress, so it's all good. All good in this hood. Now, this V is either 1, 4 or -3 and 8. I can't work out what the next step on this puzzle is. This could be the -3. But other than that, it's a high digit, 7, 8 or 9. Where's 9? Could be there, I don't know. Is it this line? It doesn't feel like it's this line. Oh, hang on. This central box. Okay, somewhere in it there is a -3. Oh, I see. That must go with a pair adding to 16 to make the line segment add up to 13. So somewhere, let's aid memoir again. Somewhere in this box there is a 3, 7, 9 segment. Now, 8 has to also appear in this box with 2 digits that add up to 5 that don't include 3. So that's 8, 4, 1. And the other line segment must therefore be 2, 5, 6, which adds up to 13. So these are the 3 line segments that are going in here. Now, 2, 5, 6 cannot be on the green line because none of them would be negatives, and 5 would be appearing on the green line, and that's just not possible. 1, 4, 8 cannot go on the green line. It would not only break this cell, but you couldn't put 4 next to either 1 or 8. So this is 3, 7, 9, but it's not 3, 7, 9, it's -3, 7, 9. And 7 can't go next to 9 on such a line, so 3 goes in the middle, and that is the negative digit. So we can colour everything that it sees horizontally, vertically, or in the same box as non-negative. We've got 379 there. The other two segments are, well, this could still be 148. And there would be a quadruple in this column of 1348. And it could be 256. Okay, if this was a 1348 quad, because of 148 contributing 2 digits to these cells, the 3 would be down here with an 8, minus 3 and 8. That would be 1, 4, and this would be 8. On the other hand, this could be 2, 5, 6, and that 2 is making this cell a 2. So this is either 2 or 8. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the aide memoir. Just try and remember 148 and 256 for me. I think this can be either grouping. Now, what has this taught us? It hasn't really achieved anything else, has it? I mean, this pair adds to 13. So this digit can't be 9 or 7, but there are still 4 ordered combinations. This one can still be 4 natural digits, I think. I don't know, this didn't achieve as much as I thought. This was going to be a huge breakthrough, finding this 3. On this line, the 2 cell segments, I mean, this line has an N of 9. So the 2 cell segments can't have the -3 in it, or they'd need a 12. So they're green. Oh, look, I've only got 2 cells left in box 2 for the negative digit. And that's not a 3 now. That is positive. I mean, it's not huge info, but it's true. Again here, 126 positive, or a 3. Oh, 126 positive would mean that was 345, and this was 789. Now, is the green line in trouble then? Yes, I think it is. Imagine this is positive, 126. This is a 345 triple. This has to be 789. What high digit or digits can you put on the green line? You've only got 6 left, but that can't go in. I've forgotten the negative digit again. There's absolutely no problem with, well, there's no problem with having only 1 high digit left. There would be no problem with having no high digits left, because you could put 4, 2, and -3 on this line. Oh, that's maddening. This goes to show that 23 minutes in, I still do not understand this puzzle at all. Oh, I thought I was going to rule out that this could be a positive 126. If this has got a -3 in it, though, let's still think about this. If this has got a -3 in it, the other 2 add up to 12. They're either 4, 8 or 5, 7. I mean, at least these are the only 3 possibilities here. 3, 4, 8, 3, 5, 7, and 1, 2, 6. And all of those use 2 of these digits and fully prescribe what's here. So if that's 1, 2, 6, that's 3, 4, 5, including the negative. That's 1, 2. If this is 3, 4, 8, this is 1, 2, 5, and that's 3, 4, including the negative. If this is 3, 5, 7, that's 1, 2, 4, and this is 3, 5. So this pair is either 3, 5, 3, 4, or 1, 2. Isn't that thrilling? If the negative is in these cells, these 2 are positive, and now this whole line is positive and must be 1, 2, 6. And that would be 3, 8, -3, 8. And this 13 sum would have to be 9, 4, but that's absolutely hunky-dory and hoopy-doopy. Oh, goodness gracious, what on earth? this digit. It's just irrelevant. Could be anything because the minus digit could be here. I don't know. Oh, hang on. 3, 4, 8 or 3, 5, 7. Right. Where are 6 and 9 in this column? They're up here because they can't be in this combo. This is either 3, 4, 8, 3, 5, 7 or 1, 2, 6. Oh, 6 is not proved up there, sorry. 9 is. Oh, that's not very exciting. Well, it means, oh, I suppose I've always known these couldn't be 9, 3 pairs. They're either 8, 4 or 5, 7. No, they're not. This is not a 12 line. It's a 9 line. What am I talking about? I don't know. Okay, back to the middle. What did we have? We had a 2, 5, 6 triple somewhere and a 1, 4, 8 triple. So that's either 5, 6 or 1, 4. Ah, is this right? This, I don't know. Let's try it. If this was 1, 2, 6 and all green, yes, this is right. If this was all green, 1, 2, 6, this set would be 3, 4, 5 and would include the 3. And these would all be green. If this includes the 3, which is the alternative, it's got the red cell in it, and these are all green. So these are always all green. Now there's only one place in row 3 to put the funky digit. There is our 3. Now I'd much rather have put it there because it would have sorted out this, but let's take what we can get. These are now green. One of these 3, either the 3 is on this V with an 8, or it's here with a 5, 7 or a 4, 8 pair. Anyway, this is now no longer able to be 8, 5. It's 4, 9 or 6, 7 adding to 13. The red digit has almost been forced onto this green line. Almost is not worth a pound of tuppenny rice today, but never mind. Ah, okay, if this cell was green, then all these 3 would be green, and they would have to be, they would not have a 3, they would be 1, 2, 6. If this cell is not green, it's a 3. So it is 1, 3 or 6. So looking through a glass darkly at this puzzle, I cannot see what's going on. There must be, it's James Copp, there's probably some relatively easy way of determining something that's going to really unlock it. I absolutely have not found that. I mean, these other cells in this column are from 2, 5, 6, 7. Pencil marking's not going to be the way here. I've got to think of something smart. These 2 add up to 13. These 2 add up to 13. Oh, this pair adds up to 9. And they're genuine. So it's either 1, 8 or 4, 5. The same here, but that could be 2, 7. So I won't mark that yet. Now, this could be 2, 5, 6. Oh, but the other possibility here is 1, 4, 8. Have I made that up? No, that's right. Right. If this is 1, 4, 8, then there's a 1, 4, 5, 8 triple. 5 has to be there. That would be 5, 4. This would be 1, 8. Hey, I'll tell you what, this is not 5, 4 because this pair adds up to 13. Oh, no, I won't tell you what. It could be 6, 7. Oh, rats. Bobbins. Why am I finding this so confusing? I don't know. This pair, let's just focus on this. If it was 8, 1, then 1, 4, 8 and 2, 5, 6 are the pairs here. 1, 4, 8 there would cause a 1, 4, 8 triple here. And it would cause 1, 4, 5, 8 as a quad here. Oh, I don't know. I just don't know. If this is 2, 5, 6, oh, yeah, this is then, if this is 1, 4, 8 on this side, we've got a 1, 4 pair there, because this has to be 3, 8. This is then 6. No. Yeah, this would be 3, 8, and that would be 6. And this would be, since this would be 2, 1, I can't work this out. I don't know. There's clearly one possibility that just doesn't work somewhere. I can't find it. I cannot do it. This is so annoying. This digit sees 37914. Now, I'm not ruling out 2 because that would probably work with a negative down here. It's just not interesting. Okay, this line, if this was all positive, it has to have a 1 in it. It would be, and that's a 4. I should have thought this through. It adds up to 13. Why was I thinking 16? Oh, because if it had a negative 3, the other 3 digits would add up to 16. If that's a 1 and that's a 4, so that this is all green, does it have to be 1, 2, 3, 7? I think it does. Oh, well, no, it can't be because 3 would be negative. Oh, I see. This can't be all positive. Oh, is that's not going to be it, is it? Because that's been available for ages and ages and ages. I think that might be it. This can't be all positive because you could only use 1 digit out of 1, 3, and 4 on it if that was the case. So the absolute minimum is 1, 2, 5, 6, and that adds up to 14, not the required 13. So there is a negative on this, which is obviously the number 3. Now there is a negative in one of these cells, and we get a few more green positives. I mean, maybe this doesn't do anything. Well, we now know that the 3 positives on this line add up to 16. I don't think. The good news, in a way, is I don't think this is the key solution because how could it be? We haven't really learnt anything here. We don't still know if 3 is on this line, and even if we did, we wouldn't know what it was. No, I mean, it is a deduction. It has been available for a long time. I've made it now. It doesn't really affect the rest of the puzzle much, I don't think. We've got a 3 on that line and 3 cells that add up to 16, and I don't think that lets us... Well, can 9 be on it? I think it can, with a pair that would be here adding up to 7. That would be 1, 6. If 9's not on it, 9's in one of these 2 cells, but it's not interesting. That's not what's unlocking this puzzle. It's probably to do with these combinations of 2, 5, 6 and 1, 4, 8. If that is a 1, 4 pair, this is 3, 8, that's 6, that's 2. These are from 5, 7, 9. And they definitely would include 5. So this would be a 1, 8 pair. These would be 4 and 6. Come on, fall apart somehow, puzzle. This is not like James Copp to me for normal. Oh, good grief. I mean, you could bifurcate. Don't do that. Okay, let's say this was a green 1, 4. This would be the 3. This would have to be the 5, 6 pair. These would be from 7, 8, 9. Oh, that's interesting. Hang on. Have I found out that this is 4, 5 now? Right. If this was the 1, 4, 8 triple, this would be 1 and 4. You'd have 3, 8, 6 down here. No, I haven't. If this is 1, 4, you've got 3, 8, 6. These are from 5, 7, 9 then. Oh, and in that case, they include a 5, and that's definitely 1, 8. And we're left with 4, 6 here. That's what I just did a moment ago, and that was probably quite important. That would make this 7 or 9 and this 4 or 6. I cannot see my way through this, obviously. Where are we going to get the final kind of... it's one deduction now. One deduction will start making this all flow. Hang on. This is a 6, 7, 8, 9 quad. Mark, not pencil marking. Shock. If those are a 6, 7 pair, this is definitely 8, 9 then. I mean, there is something going on here, that something is getting forced. If that was 1, 2, 6, maybe it's still this line. That's so... I've totally rejected that and stopped thinking about it entirely in my head, but maybe I'm missing something. But the presence of a negative digit on this line just means it's totally freed up to have anything on it. So that's why I've rejected it. I think that's a good reason. I'm not bringing that back into the fray now. Okay, I'm going to focus on this pair. If they were 8, 1, that's an 8 X-wing, which puts 8 in one of these cells. If 8 was here, it would have to be with another 1. Okay, if that, no, let's go back up the final column. If this is 1, 2, 6, that's 7, 8, 9. If this is 3, 4, 8, that's 6, 7, 9. And if this is 3, 5, 7, that's 6, 8, 9. So these are always selected from the very high digits. Could have pencil marked that earlier. Now this, does this have a high digit on? The only way it doesn't is if it's a 4-5 pair. If the final high digit was here out of 6, 7 or 8, well, it couldn't be 6 because you couldn't put a 3 here. So there could be a 7 or an 8 here. Either that or it's a 4-5 pair. And in that case, 6, 7, 8, 9 would all be gone. And then you'd have to have a -3 on this line. And would it have to be in the middle? Is that the important point suddenly? I think it's not the important point, because if 4, 5 were here, there is still a high digit left for this line. And that doesn't have to be in the middle, because you could go, I don't know, 8 to -3 or something. Maybe it is more constrained than I've figured, but I don't know how to get at the nub of this. Are there, okay, digits on this pair, 6, 7, 4, 9 or 5, 8. They don't leave any digits forced into those two. I'm just checking that, and it's true. And these add up to 9 and are 1, 8, 2, 7 or 4, 5. Sorry, I'm not getting this at all. One, 2, 6 here leaves these adding up to 13 with either 4, 9 or 5, 8. Three, 5, 7 here would make that definitely 5. And you'd have the 3, 7 here. Keep coming back to this. If that is 1, 8, which I'm beginning to think unlikely, this has to be from 2, 5, 6. There would be a 4 in one of these cells. Okay, this is beginning to get a little interesting. If that was 1, 8, that becomes an 8, and this is an 8, 3 pair. That has to be from 2 or 6. Sorry, the reason behind this is if that's 1, 8, this is an 8, 1, 4 pair over this side, in which that's 8 and this is 1, 4, and that's 8, 3. Now this is all positive, this line. And if that's 1, 8, this is positive 2 or 6, but these are from 2, 5, 6, so that's a triple. And then these would include 4 and either 7 or 9. Well, it couldn't be 4 and 9 because we need to make 13 here. So that, well, it would be 4, 7 with 8, 3 here, 1, 2, 6, 5 and 9. And I think this works and it makes me cry. It's probably right, therefore. So, if that's 4, 5, do we then know? We don't know what this is, I don't think. That's the trouble. That's why I'm focused on it being 1, 8. It's such a strange interactive puzzle, like the way the interactions work is highly unpredictable in my opinion. Okay, if that's 1, 8, this is 7 or 9, but this also has 7 or 9 on it because it's either 7, 6 or 9, 4. So then 5 would be in one of these cells. That seems so uninteresting that I can barely manage to focus on it for a moment. So let's come back here. If these were from 1, 4, 8, they would be 1, 4, wouldn't they? Got 3, 8 here and a 6 at the bottom. These would be from 5, 7, 9, including 5. So that would be 1, 8. That would be from 5, 7, 9, and this would be a 4, 6 pair. I've looked at this before in some detail. Oh, I must be just missing something absolutely huge, some German whisper connection on a line that I know all about, or a V, or just something absolutely massive. Okay, this. Can these be genuine? Easily, if that's 8, or even if it's 6 or 5. There's a fakeroo here. Okay, let's go back here. Have another look at this. 3, 5, 7, 6, 8, 9, 1, 2, 4. That would be 3, 5. Which would make this not... Okay, so if there's a negative there, there's a negative here and a negative here. I just want one breakthrough. I've been sitting here at this point for 20 minutes. I think it's since 23, isn't it, when I last found something interesting, and now I'm at 48. James, you've absolutely done me up like a kipper today. I can't even think straight anymore. Well done, my man. I haven't really ever thought about this pair adding up to 13. If they were 6, 7, that would be 8, 9. 3 high digits must be used in this group, but I cannot say that 1 high digit must be used here because of the potential presence of a -3. Maybe I just don't still know what -3 is doing properly in the puzzle. If it's here with either a 4, 8 or a 5, 7, which is pushing either the 4 or the 5 round to here. That would also make there be a negative here, but I mean, I can't find that. I suppose it would stop this being 8 or 6, actually. Hadn't thought about that. But if that was a 2, this is 3, 5. If that's a 5, this is 3, 8. 13. Is this actually useful? And I can't tell. Maybe it is somehow. So we've got a -3. We've got 3 other cells to add to 16. If that's a 1, we need these. Let's say the 3 was there. We would need these 2 to add to 15. They would be 7, 8, or 6, 9. But if that's a 4, these add to 12. And then they could only be 7, 5. That's quite interesting. If that was a 4, I think this has to be 3, 4, 5, 7. And that's a 1. And these cells are 2, 6, 8, 9. They're slightly surprisingly constricted. But if that's a 1, I think this is much freer, weirdly, even though the other 2 digits have to come to 15. Could be 1, 6, 9, 3 or 1, 5, 8, 3. So, where do we go back to that I can't figure out? I mean, I can't figure out anything, but I mean, I still feel this is absolutely vital. And I still feel it's not going to be a 1-8 pair. Because that forces this to be 1-4-8. Doesn't it? Yeah, it does. And the 1 would have to be in those 2 sets, and then it wouldn't be here. This would be 3, 8. And this would be the 1, definitely. That would be 6, that would be 2. Okay, well, have I forced 2 to be in one of those cells? I don't think I have, because this was based on that being 1-8 rather than based on that being 8. If this is 4-5 though, then you could have 5 there and a 2-6 pair here. Actually, if this is 4-5, this digit is either 4 or 5. It couldn't be 5 because you couldn't put a third 5 down here. So if that's 4-5, this is a 4. Oh, hang on. Is it this simple? If this was a -3, no, it's not. This would be 1-4. These would have to be 5-7. I haven't seen this before. If that is the -3, this is a 1-4V. I think something goes wrong, actually. I'm not sure now. If this is a -3, this is a 1-4V. This can't be from 1-4-8 now, so it must be a 5-6 pair. So you've got 3-1-4, 5-6. You've got 7-8-9 triple here, and that has to be 4-5. This is 1-8 at that point. Three, 1, 4, 6, 7. Well, this just doesn't work. A -3 here just doesn't work. It's just all contained in box 8. Oh my goodness, nearly an hour. Right, 3 there makes this 1, 4 on the V. This therefore is 6, 7. Now that 3, which is negative, needs a 12 sum here. But we've used 7, and we've used 4, and we've used 3. And that cannot happen. So that's not negative. It's that simple. 25 minutes. Wow. Okay, this is a 1, 2, 6 triple in this green down here now, because it's all positive. This is where the negative digit goes in the 3, 8 sum. Now please let me believe this can't have a 6 now. That's a 4, 9 pair. Let's just do some tidying up of pencil marks. This is a 5, 7 pair left over in the box. Now 3, 8. Now surely we've got a 1, 4, 8 sum which could still be here annoyingly. Oh, hang on, this can't be 4, 5 because you can't make up those cells now. That's what's going on. Oh, crazy times. If that was 4, 5, you'd have 4 digits for 5 cells here. So that is a 1, 8 pair. I thought it was going to be 4, 5 the whole time. I'm wrong. This is now not 1, 4, 8 because you can't make up those 4 cells. So this is the 1, 4, 8 section. Amazing how I've committed those to memory finally. This is a 6 down here. I've now got 6 digits in the puzzle. We're racing for the finish line. I mean, I literally think we are going to approach the finish line fairly soon. This is a 4, 6 pair. That's a 9, that's a 4, as long as I don't make a big foul up. That 1, 8 pair is looking down at the bottom. Now, 2 can't be here. 2 is round the corner. And this can't be 1, 2, 6 anymore, so it must have the naughty 3 in it. And these are green, and trees are green. 9, 1, 3, 8. That 9 is looking up to the top of the grid. 7. This is looking down to the bottom, and then we get a 2 in the center, and that's a 5, 6 pair, and this is a 9, and that's a 7. And we've got a lot of the middle 3 columns done. This pair adds up to 9, and it's not 3, 6. And that's not enough information. I've got a 1, 4 pair now in row 5. Oh, along here we can't have a 5. So 5 is in one of these 2 cells with 2, and they are not green because they're not 3. The 3 is down here. This is an 8, 7 pair, which are also not red. There's no 7 in those cells. 1, 3, 4, 2, 5. So this can't be 3, 5, 7. It must be 3, 4, 8. And that is a 1 in the corner. Right. There's no 8 in this group. This is a 6, 7, 9 set. This now can't be 6, 3 or 7, 2. Again, it's either that hideous combo of 1, 8 or 4, 5. It can't be 4, 5 because either 5 or no. What do these add up to? 13. Well, there's only one combination that's working there. Why don't I do that first? Right, that's good. Now there's no 4, 5 here. It's another 1, 8 pair. That's not 9. 9, 4, 3, 1, 8 in this row. Okay, that's not the row to focus on. I've got 2, 3, 4, and 5 to place in this area. Well, I've got 2, 5, 4, and -3 to place. So -3 is clearly going to be in the middle of this line because none of those other digits can connect with each other. So that's the -3. And that's the 2. Oh, I can colour those green. And now I've got 3 done at the bottom. 4. We've just gone past the hour mark, but we're moving along fine. 5 on a green line. I mean, it looks so strange, but that's the way the cookie sometimes crumbles. 8 there, 3 there. 8 and 1. I think we're moving along fine now. These are from 169. Now, let's go down the grid a bit. Oh, we've got this natural green line, a regular one here, that doesn't have an 8 on it, or a 3, or a 4. So it's sorry, let me just put off my friend. There we go. And I'm nearly done. 73982. Okay, I can't use that maybe yet after all. 94318. These are from 2567. In this row, that's not 6. These are from 479. I've got this still to add to 13. I've got this. This has got a -3 in it. That's big. That's the big news here. This can't be 6 or 8 because we can't put a 9 there or an 11. It can't be 3, 8 anymore. So that is a 2, which seemed the least likely thing at some point. That's now a 1, 4 pair. There we go. This is going to work. That's not 4. That's not 1. That's not 2. 2, 3, 5. So in this first column, that's not a 2 or a 6. That's not 2 or a 6. Now, this this group adds up to, oh, I can't even remember. I'm losing my mind. 13 with a -3. So the other 3 add up to 16, don't they? Now, are they getting constrained? Oh, let's just do 2s. That's a 2. 2, 9, 4, 3. That's 5, 6, or 7, but it's not 5 in the column. So that's 5 in the row. That's 7 now on this crazy old triple. That seems to be the only place for 4 in box 1. That's the only place for 1. I mean, these things are worth doing. These are from 6, 8, 9. This can't have a 7 or an 8 on it. It could be 6, 1, or it could have a 9. Now, let's think about this again. We've got a 7 and a -3. That adds up to 4. The other 2 have to add up to 9. They could be 4, 5 or 1, 8. So here we have either 5 or 8. 2, 1, 4, 3. I don't know. That can't be 8 by Sudoku. I mean, this is so nearly done. 6, 7, 8, 9. We can't have a 7 there, obviously. Is it this line? Oh no, this pair have to add to 13, and they don't have 4 or 5. That's a 6, 7 pair. Oh, that's huge. Yeah, those just fall out. 6, 2, 3, 8, 3, 5, 3, 4, 8, 6, 7. That's a 2 by Sudoku. This now has to be a 9. There's a 1, 5 pair. I've got a 1, 4 pair in the row. Ah, now I'm hitting the wrong digits. Never. Can't hit a single key that I want to. It's slap happy time. Right, in this row, that's a 6, that's a 7, that's 8 in the corner, that's a 9. 5 and 6 there, 7 and 6 there. This one is not 5. That is a 4, that's a 1, that's a 4, that's a 1. Here we go, that's a 3, and that's a 3. Let's do all the colouring finally. Those ones are the dodgy 3s. These ones are the very happy natural digits that go green. There we go. And this one is an 8, and that one is a 4. Oh, the relief flooding over me. Flooding over me. That's a 6. 9 and 7, 9 and 6, and there's a 2, 5 pair down here. And that is the solution to below 0. And that is the hardest James Scott puzzle I've done in a year and a half at least. and maybe it's not that hard. I think that pair was, I was missing something a bit blatant, wasn't I, somewhere? I can't even remember what it was now, but I was. But I'm so relieved. Oh, and it's a superb puzzle. It's just a bit complicated. Thanks for watching, blooming negative digits. See you soon. Bye for now.